Glad to hear Gemini rising. It's Cosmic 101 talking astrology for February for your rising sign. Trust you're doing well. Your ruling planet Mercury is very active this month, and I'm going to be talking about what that means for you in this video, as well as the lunations and planetary transits and alignments. Let's get into your astrology, Gemini rising. On the 4th of the month, we see Venus ingress into Aries, and Venus will be staying put here for the rest of February. Let's talk a bit about this. Gemini rising, if you don't want to get pregnant, forewarned is forearmed. This is a great time to get pregnant. It's also a great time to keep a pregnancy on the down low if you're trying to keep it to yourself, this transit. With Venus in Aries, your 11th house for the month, this is sparks flying, conflict with what you find value in. And that could be conflict amongst your friends, your social connections, your tribe, people that you hang with. There could be a difference of opinion. There could be a conflict here with this transit because Venus in Aries is feisty. So expect some hot, contentious conversations and events, social events, to be a little bit more exacerbated than it normally would be otherwise. And this is a good transit, Gemini rising, to iron out any differences between you and other people, like your friends or even professional connections. So trying to knock a problem on the head would be a good way to describe this transit for you. So if you're finding it hard to reach a friend that you've had some distance from, this may be an easier transit for you to finally sort out any differences, if at all. But the Venus in Aries transit is it's spicy. Venus will vehemently pursue what she finds value in, and you could see friends or social connections really be quite out of character, more so than they usually would be with this transit as well. So observe, watch, and learn with Venus in Aries transit for the month. And the same day on the 4th, Jupiter goes direct in Gemini, your first house. This is nice. So Jupiter's certainly helped you learn and drop into your beliefs about who you are, your identity, your sense of self, and how other people view that. So playing it cool and being passive aggressive might have been a necessary tonic with Jupiter retrograde, but now Jupiter's direct in your first house. You can be your wonderful, wild, beautiful self with reckless abandonment. There's no need to filter down who you are. You know who you are. You've learnt a lot with this transit with Jupiter retrograde, and now you can start to take some flight. The self-belief is there, and you're all engaged in loving the self. Really nice with Jupiter direct in your first house, Gemini rising. From the 6th to the 12th, we have Saturn trine Mars retrograde. These 6 days of the month are perfect for having very frank and honest conversations with a superior in your workplace or your career. Good for talking about the money exchange, how much you're putting in. Are you getting recognized for all the effort that you put into your work? Regarding your professional life, this is a great transit to talk about that, or maybe talk about leveling up. But these 6 days are from the 6th to the 12th, perfect for doing the hard yards, not avoiding the difficult conversations or looking at your contracts again or agreements with your professional life and talking it out with people that influence your earning capacity. Really good days. And whilst that's happening from the 10th to the 12th, your ruling planet Mercury conjuncts the Sun and also squares Uranus. So this is very certain about a belief or a educational pursuit or a travel destination that you are also considering with Mercury conjunct the Sun, squaring Uranus and Taurus. Aquarius is about that freedom and liberation and intelligence process regarding our thoughts and our ideologies about the future. So I can, if I'm connecting the astrological dots here for you, Gemini rising from the 6th, you're trying to sort out where you stand in the workplace. Have you got the money? Is everything set in stone? Because you're trying to take flight, if you will, or make plans about travel plans and educational pursuit, or just getting on top of the red tape regarding contracts and agreements and paperwork, the legal sides of that conversation that you may potentially be having. It's like you have your eye on a certain horizon or a plan to open yourself up spiritually, physically, or mentally as well from the 10th to the 12th, while that trine's happening with Saturn and Mars retrograde. On the 13th, we have a full moon in Leo. This is at 24 degrees. This full moon's lighting up your third house. So you may be moving in a different environment, changing up your modes of transport. So something might be going on with a vehicle. You might be going, yeah, I'm going to buy myself a Maserati or upgrade a vehicle. You may also be interested in education and teaching and communication as well. So full moon in Leo is, I am about to announce something amazing. So expect something quite optimistic to happen on the 13th of Feb in regards to your third house topics we just discussed. Looks like a fun day. The next day on the 14th, your ruling planet Mercury ingresses into Pisces, and this is where things get interesting. After Mercury conjunct the Sun and squared Uranus only a few days ago, now Mercury, your ruling planet, steps into your 10th house. Now, your ruling planet doesn't like being in Pisces. It's in fall in Pisces. It's in detriment in Pisces. And whilst that may be astrologically so through Hellenistic techniques and concepts, Mercury, your ruling planet, is really good at being creative and emotionally intelligent. So I find this a helpful transit for you. Even though your ruling planet doesn't like being in Pisces, you can get creative and get emotionally squared up in regards to your career ambition and how you interact with superiors with this transit. Great transit, ultimately, from my astrological perspective, when Mercury steps into your 10th house. What would be the potentials with this transit of it not doing well? Because it is in fall and in detriment. You being mentally fatigued, like trying to keep up a pace, keep yourself pepped up. You may find superiors exhausting. You may find your career direction exhausting at times, and trying to get creative and keep optimistic about it. So there's a double-edged sword concept going on with this transit. So take it easy from the 14th of February moving forward, when Mercury's in your 10th house for the rest of the month. On the 18th, the Sun ingresses into your 10th house for 4 weeks. Great. Sun in Pisces. Even though your ruling planet's doing all the heavy lifting, when the Sun ingresses here, things get really energetic. So this is why I like the transit, even though your ruling planet's in fall and in detriment, because there's so many planets in that 10th house now. So there's a stellium, there's a Pisces party happening in your 10th house. There's lots of assistance with drawing fine lines in the sand and knowing where to put your energy, mind your P's and Q's, and step up to the plate and have typical conversations and do what you need to do when it comes to your career and working with in a professional environment. So the Sun here for 4 weeks, it's the spotlight's on the 10th house. So you can have changes with staff. If you work in a workplace with other people, staff members could be changing up. You might be taking on more of a leadership role in your workplace as well, or you could be having a really frank conversation about your career trajectory within yourself. So what is your ideal career direction, what is it about your image that you want to shine through? Do you want to impress superiors? Do you want to impress yourself by doing something entrepreneurial? I mean, anything's up for grabs. It'll depend on your own natal planets in your own chart. But this indicates with the sun in the 10th, you're ready to inject 100% commitment. And I think that's helpful with the stellium party in Pisces in your 10th house. So try not to drop the ball in regards to wanting to play it cool. This is the time to step up, like market yourself, pitch to people that can take you places professionally. Great transit to do this. If you've been sitting on the sidelines, this might be from the 18th of February, a good time moving forward to let others know with great transparency what you have to offer and what you're willing to contribute in a professional environment. On the 20th, your ruling planet Mercury squares off with Jupiter. Well, we've got mutual reception here. Jupiter's in Mercury's sign, your ruling sign is Gemini, and your ruling planet Mercury is in Jupiter's sign of Pisces. And so this is possibly a clash of ideologies between yourself and your career or people within your workplace. Nothing you can't handle. Just don't get sucked into any politics. Know the laws, know the morals and ethical codes, and make sure everyone's holding them to high standards. If you're feeling you need to change any policy or procedures in the workplace, this will be the day to discuss that on the 20th of the month, with the mutual reception with Mercury and Jupiter, even though they're squaring. On the 23rd, your ruling planet Mercury trines Mars retrograde. Did you have those typical conversations earlier in the month? Well, on the 23rd, you might get an answer or a solution comes to pass on this date. And if you missed an opportunity to speak up about a financial situation with a superior or your career, this is the day to finally get to it. If you're having problems with feeling more than brave, your ruling planet Mars trining Mars will certainly get you moving and your tongue wagging. So no worries there on the 23rd. On the 24th, Mars goes direct in Cancer at 70 degrees in your second house. Things will slowly start to feel more settled when it comes to your relationship emotionally with your finances, assets and possessions and things that support you. You may have had some high highs and low lows with the money that's been coming in and out, and Mars now going direct from the 24th. You may have developed some strategies on keeping an eye on the daily bank account and being more vigilant with your finances moving forward. So that's quite helpful with Mars direct in your second house. And you may be tying up a financial dispute as well on the 24th. Good date. Either way, Mars will slowly start to motor forward in your second house, and you can start to develop more skills and street smarts in bringing in money on the day-to-day that supports you, that makes you feel emotionally grounded, secure, and supported. On the 25th, we have a very loud planetary alignment day. The aspects are incredible. Mercury, your ruling planet, conjunct Saturn in your career house, and Venus sextiles Jupiter. This looks great for signing on the dotted line, shaking hands, and having a big contract land in your lap that could really excite you. And then you read the fine print and you go, oh. So don't be too quick to take up a professional offer without reading the logistics. Know if it's really going to work for you for the long term. because when your ruling planet conjunct Saturn, it's a very solid commitment with your career or a conversation with a superior. So the astrological advice is it could be easier to feel that this is it, you've hit the pinnacle, but do not overlook the fine print and do not undersell your value. Know, where the money's coming from and the actual agreement. Does it work for you or against you in the long run? Your ruling planet conjuncting Saturn. This is a long-term commitment. So, forewarned is forearmed. And when Venus is sextile in Jupiter, even though that's a harmonious aspect, both Venus and Jupiter are in zodiac signs they don't like being in. So this could be over-exaggeration. It looks and sounds better than it actually is. So, yeah, read the fine print on the 25th. You don't want to be getting yourself into deep waters that you can't get out of, or overcommit and overstretch yourself, because Mercury, your ruling planet in Pisces, again, isn't really a favorable transit for you to invest in anything long-term momentarily. So look before you leap. Look before you leap on the 25th. On the 27th, Mercury sextiles Uranus. This could be good for taking time off, take a mental day, just step out of the limelight, maybe look over that contract or think about the conversation you had before the 27th. Yeah, this is a self-care day on the 27th, so use that to your advantage. Plan ahead to shut down, go on a little bit of a ashram retreat for yourself. Maybe take yourself to a lake, enjoy something that's going to make you reset your mind, body, spirit, and soul on the 27th. On the 28th, there's a new moon in Pisces, your 10th house. Stellium party going on in your 10th house. Saturn, Neptune, Moon, Sun, Mercury, your ruling planet, and the North Node. Woof, all in your 10th house. So when you have a new moon here on the 28th, this is a beautiful, quiet new moon. It's very calm, but it does indicate something growing in your 10th house. So this could be an emotional decision that you're making about your career, or someone in your workplace is a superior or a higher up on the 28th. This could be a bittersweet beginning. You're all in or you're all out on the 28th of February. So for the Gemini risings, you may be really up against some quite sobering moments regarding your career, what it means to you, what you want from it, where you want to go moving forward. So there's a lot of conversations and thinking in the month of February about your public image, who you are, and how you want to be seen, how you want to reflect your personality to the outside world. Again, with Jupiter direct in your first house, I think you've worked it out, but there's still some logistics and realistic conversations needed with the self and with people in your professional life moving forward in the month of February. Okay, so that's your astrology for the month. I trust you got some value out of this video. Feel free to leave any comments in the comments section below. And remember, till next time, stay cosmic.